Derrick Henry is getting traded. This is the talk. This is the talk of all the town that King Henry will be leaving the Titans, and the Titans will become what? Like basically not a football team because he's the whole football team. What do you think, Casey? King Henry getting traded? What's the likelihood that this is actually real? Would they really move on from Derrick Henry? It seems like he's probably not got that many great years left. Just let this guy live out his time in Tennessee and be a lifetime Titan. Seems like the move, but maybe that's not what Tennessee's up to. What do you think?
Not really what the NFL is about these days. It's kind of a romantic thing of the past, where that's like the norm, at least. Obviously, it happens. Not the usual thing anymore. And it's actually particularly because he's not like washed. You know, there's a demand for good running backs on the market. Yeah, he certainly qualifies. Tennessee Titans are 2-4 here, going into week 7, week 8. Yeah, week 8. They're headed nowhere fast. You know, that's just the way they are as a franchise right now.
And they never have been
for this
Not
year.
for years. Not for years. Yeah.
Look, I'm a fan of the head coach, Mike Vrabel. I've heard that their ownership is also like good and backs him. I think that's the right direction, but it's the next generation. It's the next rebuild that really has the opportunity for success, in my opinion. Ryan Tannehill was probably never going to be that guy to get you to the top of the mountain, but he was a guy who could. I
mean, you're already grasping at straws when you're grabbing D-Hop. You know what I mean? Like, dude's 100. So,
but when you're a Titans, I mean, you got to rewind a couple of years ago just to like make it all make sense. Ryan Tannehill was an upgrade, a guy you kind of just took a flyer on, and then he paid off in the immediate term. And you go, okay, I mean, we're relevant again. They were the 1 seed only a couple of years ago in the playoffs from the AFC, including all those teams in the AFC that everybody's all afraid of over. They were the 1 seed only a couple of years ago. So, but they look like the time has come. The shit's hit the fan. Derrick Henry could do a lot of work for some other guys, and I think he could still demand something like, I don't know, like a second.
Yeah.
On the market. I don't know.
Yeah. He could do. Yeah, I guess you could get some. So what are some targets for Derrick Henry? Who do you think actually would move on him and move maybe a second round pick, or maybe the Titans want more than that? Who would give the Titans outsized value for Derrick Henry? That's the real question.
Well,
it's got to be a win now team.
It's a team that's certainly convinced they're going to make the playoffs. Maybe a team that's having some offensive issues right now, but they have those playoff ambitions. And also, asterisk next to any team that's like banged up at the running back position, which, there's no shortage of those. So, I mean, I can't list all of those. But
that's the NFL, right?
That's how the NFL works. Running backs get hurt every week.
Yeah.
But
other than Derrick Henry, I guess he has before, but like he seems to be the most durable running back I've seen in a minute.
Yeah, no, he definitely is. And I will also say that there's something about trading these superstars, which you could say maybe that's loosely used when it comes to him now. He's a former superstar at the very least. Maybe he's still in that rarefied air. They tend to trade them to the opposite conference as much as possible at all.
Yeah. Just get out of here. We don't want to worry about you.
Yeah, I mean, but teams that have kind of underperformed so far, but still have playoff hopes in my mind, like the Bengals, right? I don't think he'd be needed. That kind of goes against like what that offense kind of is, needing like another running back. But they weren't thrilled about having Mixon, so who knows? That's just something that could happen. Even though the Chargers have the same record as the Titans, I think they're not that crazy of an answer, just because Austin Eckler has been banged up already and otherwise like ineffective for the little bit we have seen him. And then if I'm looking, both of those are AFC teams, by the way, so that would be the same division. Without giving it too much thought, teams on the other side, I mean, really any team that loses a guy, that's going to be the obvious number one situation, like the Lions with David Montgomery out, right? They just lost a tough game. They're talked about being like potentially or likely a top 3 NFC team.
Jared Goff isn't yet. They're a win now team.
Yeah, the Falcons also same kind of idea. Sorry, go ahead on the Lions. Go ahead.
The Lions are a win now team. I like them for that. Sticking in the NFC North a bit, I could see the Vikings giving some outsized value for a guy like Derrick Henry too. After losing Dalvin Cook, give Kirk more options, especially with Justin Jefferson potentially hurt. Like they seem like they need that piece. You know what I mean? They need teams to respect the run a little bit more. So, I mean, I could see them being a team that would give outsized value.
The Buccaneers, another one, more of a prolific passing offense, but with a running back on the squad to kind of help out that, to kind of complement the passing game, they could be huge. They're sitting at 500 right now in a very winnable division. I think
Yeah.
those are actually the three most likely candidates. The ones we just said there.
Not the
Really, you could go
Vikings.
anywhere.
The three that you said. Vikings are
No, no,
sort of
no,
an
no. The
outlier.
Lions, the Vikings, and the Buccaneers, all NFC
Oh, okay.
teams, all teams
Yeah.
that could use the Vikings. I would put as third on that, just because they already did trade
Mm.
for Cam Akers, and they're still just getting him kind of going.
Yeah.
Not that he's as
But
good as Derrick Henry.
let's just be. I'm just good. Cam Akers is not that good. He's
He's
like
fine.
always underperformed.
He's fine,
He's,
is what he is.
that's a great way to put
He's
it.
had some
He's
moments.
fine.
He's had some
He's
moments.
He's a running back that I guess deserves a job in the NFL.
He
Like,
definitely does. You're harsher on him than I am. He's definitely fine. He's in
I
the
think
top 40
I think
backs
anyone
in the
who's
NFL.
been a Cam Akers owner in fantasy is not super
Well,
happy.
I think
about
that speaks more to his relationship with his former team, the Rams. Just if you followed the life of that story at all, him from last year, starting in last year, there's rumors they didn't want him on the team, but then they like came back to him and made him the start. Like they're all over the board with him. You could chalk that up to like just that franchise kind of thing. But yeah, bottom line is I think those three teams are most likely, and
Yeah.
I would say he could make a difference on all three of those teams and make them immediate contenders, contenders for the NFC at least.
All right, give me a percentage here. What percent chance do you give it Derrick Henry gets traded? And is this going to happen this season or in the offseason?
Should happen this season. I believe he's on the last year of his contract, which is why
So
he's
really
extra
soon, because trade deadline's coming up.
Yep. And it's going to go to a contender if it happens. I am in the camp of this is more likely to happen than not.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm probably in the minority on that, but I'd give it a 65. Give it like a 2/3 chance.
I'll go the other way with it. Not maybe 35, not maybe 35, but I give it maybe a 45% chance, just because you got really 3 targets. You got a few targets, but like then actually trying to get some outsized value for him. I think the teams, as much as they might need it, and it's like, yeah, we should give outsized value, get what we need, win now. When it comes down to actually making that deal, it's really hard to give outsized value for something. So I could see it just like, we just can't quite get a deal done type of thing, not that they don't want to trade him, definitely shop him hard. They just can't quite get the deal done. So that's why I put it on the 40, the underside of the 50% line. But hey, if he goes to the Vikings, I'm a happy man. So let's go. I'm for that narrative.
If you're them and you're already selling, which they kind of are, they're in that mode. I mean, what do you say no to for him if you're not going to have him next year anyway? Why wouldn't you? I mean, you're going to get a comp pick if he walks, but that's not going to be, if you can get a second, it's worth it. The comp picks are at the highest at the end of the third. So even if you can get a real NFL third, you say yes to the deal.
Yeah, I like it.